Welcome everybody to another QuickBooks Power Hour. We're very glad to have you with us today. Today's topic is we're going to be talking about the QuickBooks ProAdvisor Program with details and updates with Intuit's Michelle Berg. We're very glad to have her joining us today. So our agenda is we're going to talk briefly about QB Power Hour and the host, the CPE process, and our learning objectives today are to help you to understand the various membership levels of the ProAdvisor program as well as all the benefits that are available. You might be familiar with some of them, but there might be some that you've forgotten about or never knew about, so hopefully you'll learn some new things there. Then also you're going to learn how to maximize your profile for the new matchmaking with the Find a ProAdvisor website. Alrighty, so that's our agenda for the day. A little bit about QB Power Hour. It is a free webinar series that we do every other Thursday. Here's some of our upcoming episodes. The next one that we have will be on March 16th. We're going to talk about managing accounts receivable, and we'll have AR Collect sponsoring that one, so you can learn more about that. The one on March 30th, I'm not positive of the topic yet, but it will be ACE approved. So those of you that are advanced ProAdvisors that need your ACE credits, you'll want to make sure you put that on there. Also, as you're putting these things on your calendar, so once you get a QB Power Hour on your calendar, you can set it up as a recurring event to happen every other week. However, notice the date change on April 13th, right before the deadline. We're going to skip that week and start up again on April 20th. So what you'll want to do is delete the rest of the events in that series and then start the series again on April 20th. That way you always remember when one's coming up. As you know, we talk about various tips, tricks, and advanced insights on either QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, or sometimes we talk about some special guests with third-party apps, practice management like value pricing or marketing and things like that. So that's a little bit about Power Hour. We'd like to thank our platinum sponsor, TSheets, time tracking and scheduling. It's the #1 rated app in the Intuit ecosystem. You can sign up today for your free ProAdvisor account at tsheets.com. Thank you, TSheets. All right, so a little bit about myself. I am Michelle Long, a CPA and the owner of Long for Success. I'm thrilled to say that I've been speaking and teaching QuickBooks, since 1999, and I first started presenting with Intuit back in the year 2007. So I'm very happy to have Intuit joining us today. Check out my books on Amazon if you want. Make sure you join some of the social groups that we have, the LinkedIn group and the Facebook group. They're a great place when you have answers and you want to network with or you have questions and need answers from a network of your peers. That's a great opportunity. Also co-hosting with me is Hector Garcia. He's knee-deep in tax season, so I'm covering these for him, just like he covers for me when I'm on the road doing the certification trainings and stuff. So Hector, we hope you're surviving tax season, and we'll see you back in a little while. Upcoming events, as always, QBTrainingEvents.com has live webinars all throughout the month, every month. The live training will begin again starting in May, coming to a city near you, so you want to check that. And then also there's those virtual conferences about once a month. So as always, Intuit's training is free, and many of them offer free CPE for you as well. Then in June, Scaling New Heights is going to be down in Orlando this year, another great opportunity. And my favorite of all is the QuickBooks Connect that we have coming up in November this year. That's the one, if you really can make it, I highly encourage you to go. It's an amazing event. All right, so a little bit about the CPE process. You all know the drill. If you need CPE, you must be attending this live. It's not available if you're listening to the recording. You have to be logged in for 15 minutes. We're going to have 4 polling questions. You have to answer at least 3 to get CPE credit. And give us some time to get the CPE certificates out. They will be mailed in about 3 weeks. And I am behind, so I know you haven't gotten the one from February yet, so that will be coming soon. Today's webinar is not eligible for ACE credits. Those of you that are advanced certified ProAdvisors, make sure you mark down March 30th. That will be available. And speaking of poll questions, let's go ahead and launch our first poll question as we get going here. And you got a couple of minutes to answer this, so go quickly. Are you a ProAdvisor? Are you a ProAdvisor already? And let me know which level you are there, okay? So are you a ProAdvisor? And somebody says, I have a QBO Essentials client that's looking to change to QBO Plus, and that's great. You can upgrade. You cannot downgrade them. And then they also want to know if I can add them to my wholesale billing. Absolutely. Valerie, what you want to make sure you do is if you see your client on your QBO 8 dashboard, if you click on the gear and go under your account, that's where you can see that client and then select them and add them to your wholesale billing. So yes, you can do that. So you can do that. All right, so go ahead and answer that poll question. The faster you answer that, the faster we are going to move on. And somebody says, thought Chris Hamilton was going to be on, and shared a cab with him at Scaling New Heights last year. And you're right, we did plan on having Chris Hamilton be on with us today. However, something came up at the last minute. So we're lucky. We've got Michelle Berg, who's the marketing manager for the ProAdvisor program, filling in for him today. And we do have Intuit employees. Thank you, Mindy King. You guys might know her around social and stuff. We also have Vanessa and Brianna helping answer questions today. So thank you for that. All right, 94% of you have answered that. I'm going to give you about 5 more seconds. If you need CPE credit, this is the first poll question. Please answer that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that poll, and I'll share the results with you. 31% are a free member, 23% deluxe, 32% are premium member, 10% are not, but I plan to join, and then 4% of you are not an accounting professional. Well, we're glad you're joining us, and I'm going to tell you about those different ProAdvisor levels here in just a minute. So if you're not a ProAdvisor yet, you can learn about it. So let's talk about some of the benefits of the ProAdvisor program. And a lot of you, if you're already ProAdvisors, you may be aware of this, or maybe you're not. So hopefully you'll pick up something new here. First of all, I'll show you how you can sign up for the ProAdvisor program. We're going to talk a little bit about the membership levels. The first one is free. You get QuickBooks Online training support, the software for QuickBooks Online Accountant. That's all free. So the software, the certification, the training, the support for QuickBooks Online is all free. If you need QuickBooks Accountant Desktop, you'll see down here, QuickBooks Accountant Desktop Plus. If you have clients that are still using the desktop and you want the desktop software, you want the desktop training, the desktop support, and the certification, you're going to want to choose the ProAdvisor Deluxe. It's one of the paid ProAdvisor membership levels. In addition, if you have clients using QuickBooks Enterprise, QuickBooks for Mac, or Point of Sale, you might want this premium level. So with the premium level, you also get the software, so the Enterprise Accountant, Mac, and Point of Sale. You get the software, the training, the certification for Enterprise and Point of Sale, and the support for those products as well. So this is great, so you can choose which membership level is right for you based on your clients and what your needs are. So I'm really glad to see that Intuit split it down and gave us those 3 options so you can choose what's right for you. So let's go through and talk about some of these benefits here, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop into QuickBooks Online Accountant so we can go over some of these. Oh, first of all, let me show you how you can sign up if you're not a ProAdvisor yet. If you go to QuickBooks.com and under the Accountants menu, you'll see QuickBooks Online Accountant and QuickBooks ProAdvisor Program. You can sign up for either one of these. If I sign up for QuickBooks Online Accountant, it's going to also sign me up for the free ProAdvisor program. If I want one of the paid ProAdvisor programs, I'm going to want to go over here under QuickBooks ProAdvisor program. I could sign up for the free one there as well, and it will also give me QuickBooks Online Accountant. All of this is free for accounting professionals, and by that I mean accountants and bookkeepers, consultants, tax professionals, people who are working with multiple clients. So this is free for you, so you can click on one of those, go in and choose the program that's right for you. And then in QuickBooks Online Accountant, over on the left navigation bar, you're going to see where it says ProAdvisor. That's how you're going to access your ProAdvisor program. And I love that it's fully integrated with QuickBooks now, and you don't have to go up here and go into another tab and log into the ProAdvisor site separately. I love how it's all integrated right within QuickBooks. Now you're going to notice these different levels here. When you first join the ProAdvisor program, you will be the silver level, or if you have less than 5 QuickBooks Online clients. So this is an either or. So for example, when I get certified, which I hope you all will do, I'll talk about that in just a moment, after you get certified, you move to the gold level. This will get you listed on the Find a ProAdvisor website that you're going to learn more about from Michelle Berg in a little while. So to be gold, you need to get certified or have between 5 and 19 QuickBooks Online clients. So it's an either or. It's not and. You don't have to do both. It's either or. Then I recommend getting to the diamond level. And to get to the diamond level, either you need to earn the advanced certification, which is definitely worth it, or have more than 20 QuickBooks Online clients, all right? So that's how you progress through the levels. I love the diamond level, and the reason is, number one, it helps your ranking on the Find a ProAdvisor website. Getting advanced certified helps differentiate yourself from all the other ProAdvisors that are out there, and you get diamond level support. When you call in to customer care, you get the diamond level support. One of the other things, speaking about support, one of the other things I really love is how easy Intuit has made it for us to click on this question mark up here, and you'll be able to quickly get into the chat during business hours. There's a live chat available here, and you have access to that call support number. So I like how easy it is to get into that. Now, let me talk about these certifications. If you're a member of the free ProAdvisor program, you'll have access to the QuickBooks Online and Online Advanced certifications. If you're a member of the Deluxe program, you're going to have access to some of these desktop certifications. If you're a member of the Premium, then you would have access to the Desktop and Enterprise and Point of Sale certifications. So depending on which membership level you have will depend on which certifications that you're seeing out here. I do encourage you to go into that QuickBooks Online. You'll see here's the training modules if you want to do it yourself and supplemental guides, or right here where it says register, you can attend in-person training. They have live Cert Prep webinars every month, just about every week. It's a 4-hour webinar all throughout the month, but also, like I mentioned, starting in May, we're going to be doing city-to-city events, so you'll want to be keeping an eye out if there's a city near you. So you can take live training, or you can come in here and do self-study, and then take your test and get certified, hopefully. After you pass the test, you'll see where it says download badge, and that's where you can download your certified logo and use it on your website, your business cards, and your marketing materials. One thing I will also encourage you to do is here's the Online Advanced certification. Notice when I click on it, it opens up. Now, if you're just new to QuickBooks Online and you're newly certified, you're probably not ready for that advanced certification yet because it is challenging. It's not multiple choice. It's client scenarios where you may have to go into the QuickBooks sample file or the test drive and enter some transactions and do things and run reports and then put your answers in for the exam. So it is more time consuming and it is more challenging. So you might not be ready for the test, but come out here and access these supplemental guides and these training modules because that's going to help you learn more when you're working with your clients. For example, under the complex conversions, you'll find all the details of what does and does not convert, best practices for how to clean up the desktop file prior to conversion. If you're not converting from desktop, how do you enter those beginning balances and open transactions to get started in QuickBooks? So Supplemental Guide has a lot of great information out there. Customizations, you can learn about the details between class and location tracking and how to track things by customer or sub-customer. Special transactions, you'll learn about, how to, for example, handle barter transaction, how to handle some prepayments or deposits or retainers that are received and various things like that. So there's a lot of great materials out there, even if you're not ready to start working on that exam. Again, just click on the name and that drops down to give you access to that. There will be some live seminars in various cities doing the advanced training as well. Also, that's covered at Scaling New Heights and QuickBooks Connect if you want the live training as opposed to self-study. Okay, so that's enough about certification. I'm not going to talk about profile because Michelle's going to talk about that, how to maximize it and everything. Let's take a look now under the training tab. And this is a great area where we have training for us, the accounting for our clients. Over here under certification, that's where you'll find the training for us, the accounting professionals, the certification training. And then under this training tab, this is where we find training for your clients. Notice we have training for QuickBooks Online as well as QuickBooks Desktop. So one of the things that I like to do is, let's say I've got a client who's a new client and I'm doing training for them as part of their setup or conversion or whatever. So if I'm going to be doing some training sessions for my client, let's say I'm going to do 4 sessions with them or 5 sessions with them where we want to talk about, maybe kind of getting started, money in, money out, using their reports, things like that. So what I will do is I will have these training sessions and I will record them so that I can provide the recording to the client, but I also come out here under the training for your clients and I download these Word documents here. Then you can customize this Word document, put your own firm's logo on there and your contact information, edit some things out. For example, under recording transactions, maybe they don't do interbills and pay bills. You could pull that section out of there or something. But then you could save these as a PDF. But then you can provide your clients, after you do the training, you can provide them with a recording as well as this nice handouts and these training documents here so that they've got that to refer to as well. So it's a great benefit that Intuit provides to us as ProAdvisors. So don't forget that that's out there, and it's a great resource for us to provide to our clients free as part of our services, or if you're teaching sessions. Like, for example, I taught QuickBooks at the local Small Business Development Center for years. Gosh, I first started teaching it in 1999. And we would provide these handouts. You can see in the desktop there are 16 different lessons. We would have these handouts for clients. Way back when, we used to provide it as a CD to give them the handouts. And, of course, now we've updated and we just give them a link where they can go download these PDFs and refer to these handouts. So it's a great resource that Intuit provides for us as ProAdvisors. Now let's go ahead and talk about the software and discounts. So under the software and discounts, this is where you can get discounts on various software and different services and things like that, like checks or payroll, whatever. But one of the things that I really wanted to point out to you, so check those discounts out, see if they apply to something you need. One of the things I really wanted to point out, because people forget or may not be aware of this, notice over here on the right side under Quick Links, do you see where it says Special Offers on Apps? Special Offers on Apps. This is where you get all these additional benefits just by being a ProAdvisor. For all levels of the ProAdvisor program, even if you're the free ProAdvisor level, you get all these special offers on apps. So this is where we have special featured offers. These 4 have a special relationship with Intuit. All of these are giving us a free account. HubDoc is an amazing file system. Keep all your documents in one place. So when you're working on a particular client, you have them all in one place. And one of the best things about it, one of my favorite things, it will fetch your bank statements for you or your credit card statements. So think about this. How much time, we download our transactions, we set up rules, we save a whole lot of time managing those transactions. So we're saving a lot of time there, but then we still have to be able to get the statement in order to reconcile the account. So either you've got to log in and get it, or your staff, or the client has to get it and send it to you. So you may be waiting to reconcile until you get that information from them. With HubDoc, it will fetch those statements for you, and they'll be sitting there in that client folder waiting for you. When you're ready to reconcile, you've got that statement available. So I love that. It's a huge time saver for us. And then also Fathom is a great reporting app that allows us to look at some of our business performance and things. It's a great reporting app. Again, you get free subscription, and these are subscriptions for you to use with your firm, not with clients, but the hope is you'll use it for your firm. You'll get more knowledgeable about it, and you'll be like, wow, this is great. I see how this could help with my clients. And then you'll start utilizing it for them. Receipt Bank is another one that's awesome. What it does is with the QuickBooks Online mobile app, you can teach your clients to enter an expense, and they can even take a picture of the receipt and attach it. But what you have to do if you're using the mobile app is you have to enter the date, you have to select the vendor, and they have to enter the amount and things like that. Some of our clients, not all of them, but some of them may not be able to do that, or they may not want to do that. With Receipt Bank, all they have to do is take a picture of the receipt, and it will scan it and read the payee name, the date, the amount, and things like that. You can set up rules, have it posted in the QuickBooks automatically. So Receipt Bank is awesome. Again, you get a free one. And then, of course, we love T-Sheets. As I mentioned, our Platinum sponsor. They are the #1 and rated app in the Intuit App Center. And it is great for doing time tracking. When you have people who are out in the field and out and about, approving time, getting, going through all that process and everything, and it fully integrates with QuickBooks Online to pull that time in if you need to invoice the customers or the clients for that time. So I encourage you to check out T-Sheets. Again, you get it free. Now, these 4 are the featured offers, but then there's others, lots of apps that will give ProAdvisors, if not a free account, they will give us discounts. So you can look through all these other app offers that are out here, and if you don't see them listed here, still check with them. Ask them about that. You know, do you have a special offer or partner program for ProAdvisors? Also, a lot of them will offer some training and certification for free. Like, for example, T-Sheets. They will offer you can become a certified T-Sheets Pro, and that's free training and free certification for you. Again, another way to differentiate yourself. So I encourage you to check out some of those apps that are available, and if you forgot about that, sign up and start using that app so you can learn more about it. It's a great opportunity to learn more about that. All right, let's go ahead and close that window. So that was the software and discounts. Can you use Finagraph with QuickBooks? Absolutely. Yes, you can. HubDoc also enters data from the receipts. Yes, you're right, they do. I just mentioned a few of the highlights of these. I encourage you to check out everything that they do. All right, then another thing quickly, and we're going to get to our next poll question in just a minute. Under resources, this is where you can come out here and find some books that might help you for growing your practice, some videos, things like that. Down here, I especially wanted to point out 6 sample engagement letters. You might want to take a look at that and use engagement letters with your client. That helps prevent misunderstandings or miscommunications about what the expectations are for your client getting information to you, when you're going to deliver, things, and what you're actually doing, so there's no miscommunications and stuff. But I would just caution you, an engagement letter is a legal document, so you may want to have an attorney review those for you. Okay, so. And also another thing to keep in mind, if you're a certified bookkeeper or a CPA, things like that, your associations may have some sample engagement letters for you as well. Or if you have E&O insurance, which we all should, errors and omissions to protect us, your E&O insurance provider may have sample engagement letter templates that they require you to use. So these are some that you can check out down here if you don't have access to anything else. But make sure, again, that's a legal document. Make sure that, if you need legal advice, get legal advice. Okay. Then also out here's where you'll see notifications from Intuit. Whenever they want to send us a notification or push it out to us, you're going to see that notification under that as well. Okay, so I encourage you to get certified, and let me just share a little bit about my story with you. So I first got certified. I started teaching QuickBooks in '99. I first joined the ProAdvisor program in 2003 because I hadn't learned about it before then, and got certified, been certified ever since then. And I can tell you from my experience, I did tag on to Intuit's coattails, and it was a great way for me to build my practice because Intuit spends tens of millions of dollars advertising QuickBooks all the time. How many commercials do you see on TV and stuff, right? You see QuickBooks ads all over the place. I can't pay to advertise like that, but Intuit does a great job of doing that advertising for me. Then I tag along on their coattails by being a certified QuickBooks ProAdvisor, and I'm listed in the Find a ProAdvisor website to where I can get contacts and everything. So this is where you can help get contacts from possible referrals and things like that, and I've gotten a lot of clients through that Find a ProAdvisor website. So you can see here 12 leads and inquiries in the past 30 days. That's pretty good, in my opinion, to be getting these leads because it's all free for me. Intuit does the marketing and the advertising. I just need to make sure I've got a good profile, that I've completed my profile and updated my information and things like that. And that's where Michelle's going to share with you some insights and tips and tricks to maximize that profile. But I can tell you it does work. The other thing that I want to tell you that is it bugs me when people say, I never get any referrals from the Find ProAdvisor website. It doesn't work for me. And I go look at their profile, and they haven't followed some of the advice to maximize your profile, or they haven't tried to achieve that advanced certification to get ranked higher, or they haven't tried to get any reviews or any of these things that you're going to learn about. You need to maximize and listen to the advice and the tips and tricks to maximize your profile if you want to be getting those leads, because it can work for you, but you've got to put a little effort into it. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next poll question here. So those of you that need continuing education, you'll want to answer this. All right, so are you a certified ProAdvisor? And I can tell you I am certified and advanced certified in both desktop and online. And I do encourage you at least to get certified, because if you don't get certified, you won't be listed on that Find a ProAdvisor website. So you won't get any referrals because you won't even be out there. Okay? Will this be recorded? Yes, Karen, this is being recorded. However, I'm a little nervous since I had that little glitch on the internet. I hope the recording is going to be good. If not, Karen, you might have to join me and we'll do another one and record it. How do I get a review on my ProAdvisor profile? Ruby, that's a great question. What I suggest you do is when you help a client out and the client says, oh, Ruby, you did such a fabulous job, thank you. Say, you know, I really appreciate that. Would you want to do a review for me? And they usually say, oh my gosh, I wouldn't know what to say. You say, well, how about I type up what you just said and I'll let you review it? Because a lot of times they just don't know what to say. So you can have, you know, say, look, I'll type up what you just told me about how much time I saved you or how you didn't know what to do and I helped you or whatever. Type up a few sentences for them, and then you may even need to log in remotely to help them post that on your profile, on your Find a ProAdvisor profile, because those do help. So the biggest thing is to getting reviews, and I asked T-Sheets this because they were the #1, they're still the #1 rated app at apps.com for Intuit's ecosystem of apps. They're the #1 rated. They had like over 2,000 5-star reviews. I said, how do you guys get so many reviews? They said, it's simple. We ask. You have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, a lot of your clients won't do it. So you got to start asking for it. And don't be afraid to ask for it, and then help them to do that if you need that. Okay? All right. If you need CPE credit, please answer this poll question for me. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds because we need to move along. Okay? So please answer that poll question for me. Somebody says, what app were you just talking about? Can you be more specific? I talked about a lot of apps. So let me know there. T-Sheets. T-Sheets.com. Yes, Carolyn, #1 rated. All right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close that poll question with you. I will share the results. 30% of you are certified in QuickBooks Online. That's fabulous. 7% desktop only. 22% are both. 24% are advanced certified. Yes, that's great. 16% said, no, I'm not an accounting pro working with multiple clients. Okay, and that's fair. We a lot of times get people who are in the industry. Sometimes we get students on here. So thank you for answering that poll question. I appreciate that. And now what I'm going to do is go back and pass it over. Let me go to sharing. Pass it over to Michelle so she can carry on and share more details about the ProAdvisor program and tips on maximizing your profile. All right, Michelle, we can see your screen now. So if you're ready, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. I guess it is the hour of Michelle's. Thank you for having me here. I do work here in the Intuit Mountain View headquarters really closely with Chris Hamilton, Jyoti, Ray, our whole ProAdvisor team here. And we've just been having a lot of excitement, a lot of energy around really delivering on our promise to help our ProAdvisors to grow their practice. So we have a lot of great things that have happened, that have come out in terms of Find a ProAdvisor, and a lot of more great things to come. So hopefully we'll get some great tips to you today, and also get some of your feedback, questions, ideas, so that we can continue working and improving Find a ProAdvisor for you. So you've heard a lot probably over the past few weeks, thanks to Mindy and team, about our huge milestone that the ProAdvisor program just turned 20 years old. So we're celebrating our anniversary all year. We're really looking at 2017 as an opportunity to recognize, thank all of you. So stay tuned for more. But thank you for those of you who have been around with the program since 1997 or are just joining. And we've also passed a huge milestone in terms of the number of accounting pros who have joined the program. So we have now 200,000 ProAdvisors around the world, a lot of them here in the U.S., but again around the country or around the globe as well. And 1 million businesses already visit Find a ProAdvisor every year looking for a trusted advisor to help them to grow their practice, to do their bookkeeping, accounting work, and then really just to get your expertise as small business experts. So along this, we've rebuilt the brand new marketplace to drive you more better leads, and that's something that I'll be repeating, that we just want to get you more better leads because we know that small businesses are more successful once they're working with a ProAdvisor. And how have we done this? It's been a lot of research, both with our ProAdvisors. I've really been appreciative of the willingness of ProAdvisors to share their feedback, their ideas, because you're the experts. You know what it's like connecting with small businesses, and how can we really help you to maximize your profiles, etc. Because so many of you have told us, hey, we're not marketers, we're accountants, we're bookkeepers, we're QuickBooks consultants, and really what the ProAdvisor team here looks at is it's our role to help you to best market your practice to the small businesses that are out there. But we've also done a lot of research with small businesses to understand what is it that's going to help them to identify and make the best match possible, so that when they see your profile, they see your information, that they know that this is the right person for me and that they'll really want to connect. So you might remember back in December we launched the first phase of this new ProAdvisor profile experience in QuickBooks Online Accountant, which is that edit profile page in your ProAdvisor Center. And then just in February, a few weeks ago, you might have noticed the connection to Valentine's Day in terms of our matchmaking efforts. The next phase of that, which is the new small business facing experience on our we have actually two marketplaces, and I'll go through a little bit more of that in case you're not aware, but we have findaproadvisor.com, which is our web-based marketplace or directory, and then we also have one that lives within QuickBooks Online for small businesses that are logged in. But before I get into everything about Find a ProAdvisor, I wanted just to walk down memory lane for some of those of you who have been around again since 1997, a couple of our big milestones. That the program launched in 1997. Back then it was called the QuickBooks Professional Advisors Program. I think it was actually because of ProAdvisors that had shortened it to ProAdvisor that it eventually became the ProAdvisor Program instead of that. 1999 is when we launched certification, and this is really to help our accounting pros learn to gather that expertise, gain the confidence in the software, become the best advisors to their clients, and really be able to distinguish your practice to small businesses and also to peers. We've talked a little bit about advanced certification today as well. That was introduced 11 years ago in 2006, and that's something that like as Michelle mentioned earlier, it's not just about the exam, it's also about the training materials just to help you to be the most confident that you can be when you're advising your clients. And again, 2017, where we are now, we're at 200,000 members. We're so excited that we're able to help you to build your practice and to really grow this community around the world. And what we're going to spend the rest of our time on today talking about is the Find a ProAdvisor Marketplace, which we just redesigned, and we're really excited to share some of those improvements with you. So this is what we're looking at now. This is what you'll be seeing now in QuickBooks Online Accountant in your profile section. So I believe Michelle walked us through that. When you log into QuickBooks Online Accountant, no longer do you need to go to your ProAdvisor tab to access it. You won't see a photo, but you'll see a little avatar up here, a little person that you can just click in at any time. A lot easier to go in and see how your profile is performing, the number of views. This whole section here on performance, profile strength, and some tips is brand new, and this is all based on feedback from our ProAdvisors. So we're glad that we could really be able to put something together to respond to that need, wanting to know how is my profile doing and how can I improve upon it as well. So you'll get the number of views. That's a pretty straightforward metric. We've had some questions about what's a lead and inquiry. So that's a compilation. That's a couple of things. That's if a small business actually sent you a message, if they sent you a message through the directory, but it's also if they've gone to your website or if they've clicked. Now they need to click to show your phone number, which really to us signifies the intent to reach out to you. So right now it's a compilation, but it is a unique viewer. So it's not, if one person goes in and does all four or all three of those actions, it won't be three, it'll be one person. But it's to give you an idea of how many clients are expressing interest in contacting you or are reaching out to you. And then finally, we'll also show how many of your social links, if you've added them in, have been clicked on to get you an idea that way. And what I really love is just, as Michelle mentioned, that if you do have to put a little bit of work into your profile to make it work for you. And we've done the research with small businesses to know what is going to be most important to them, so to help you and guide you through that process. So we'll have some tips for you as well based on how complete your profile is, and then some different ideas that to help you to improve the profile that's going to be public-facing to your clients. But I'll go on to, I'm just going to let this scroll a little bit. You can go into your ProAdvisor Center in QuickBooks Online Accountant and check this out. On the right, you can also see, and we'll have it again later, is that it is mobile responsive, finally catching up to the times, but also some feedback that we've gotten from ProAdvisors, understandably. The rest of the time I'll be going through what the actual small business sees. So many of you probably haven't seen this screen before. This is what we call internally as our first time use experience. So a new customer that is getting onboarded into QuickBooks Online, you won't see this if the customer is already attached to an accountant or a ProAdvisor within QBO. But there are actually 3 access points to the Find a ProAdvisor listings within QBO, and that's this first-time use experience, where, as you can see, right in the first steps of getting set up, we say, hey, do you have an accountant? If you do, invite them. If not, we'll help you to find a pro. There's also access points from the Help menu and from the Chart of Accounts, which we've heard some small business call is witchcraft. I have no idea what that means, but you do. So that's the goal, is to get them connected to you. So once they click on Find a Pro to Help, they end up in, this is an experience that is almost identical to what you'd find on the web at findaproadvisor.com. So I'll just focus on this, but point out some things that are new and different. So obviously at a glance it looks completely different from what it looked like before this launch, but one of the big things is really helping the small businesses to find the search filters up top, making them clear and more intuitive so that the leads that you're getting are better matched, that they've actually been able to filter out, because we've gotten feedback that, hey, I don't do payroll, and it's frustrating to have to turn clients away if there's a service that I don't provide, etc. So helping to get the right match to you. We've made your reviews more prominent. We'll get into that a little bit more. I know it's a real pain having to ask for them. It's not our comfort zone a lot of times, but it's super important to small businesses. And just thinking about yourself as a customer looking for any type of service. This is your feedback, but also from small businesses, that the certifications are much clearer now. They really, what the small business wants to know is this person an expert in the product that I'm using? Because most of the traffic are existing QuickBooks customers, and they're looking for somebody to help them out. So this one, we've clearly said what it is. We've brought out the advanced ProAdvisor status a bit more. The next part is probably one of the biggest improvements for this phase, and this is that now your About Me section in your profile gets a little preview here. So you can see that the first approximately 90 to 100 characters, depending on the width, will show up here, and I'll get you some tips on how to maximize that. Before, you might remember that most of the profiles would say, I serve agriculture, automotive, and 21 more industries, and that was useless. That was useless for small businesses, and definitely not the best way of describing what your practice and the services you can provide. Small businesses want to know what you can do for them. So another thing is that if this customer, for example, selected bookkeeping and income tax preparation as the services they're looking for, so in addition to listing your services here, it also elevates whatever is most relevant. And then finally, we have an option for the small business to send you, or the potential client to send you, a message straight from the search results. So if they see what they love here, it makes it just even easier for them to be able to reach out to you. And again, you can see on the right is, I'll just let this scroll while I talk a little bit more, is on the right. Again, this is mobile responsive now, so there's nothing else that they need to do or scroll and pinch and all of that if they're on a mobile device. So it's a much better experience for them as well.
Michelle, could I add a tip about the About Me part? If you just want to go back to that slide for a second. Yeah. Under the About Me, you know how it shows those first few words there, or the first couple of sentences? What I see a lot of people do is they will say, you know, I provide bookkeeping, payroll, and tax services. Wrong. Don't put that under the About Me, because there's that services section. In the first couple of sentences there, you need to focus on the benefits that you can provide for your clients. So I like to say features tell what you do, but benefits sell. Features would be, we provide bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes. Don't go with the features. Go with the benefits. We help you save time so you can grow your business, spend more time with your family or something like that. Or, we make QuickBooks sing. We help you get more returns on your return. Come out with, if you're looking for tax clients, come out with something about the benefits you provide for your client in those first few. It should be all about what you can do for your client, not all about me, and what my credentials are. Those are featured elsewhere in the profile. So don't reiterate those under the About Me, and think about those first two sentences and really put some good thought into what your benefits are. Sorry.
No, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Michelle, because that's really what marketing is about, and the small businesses want to know what you can do for them. So It's not just about, again, don't reiterate everything else, but a lot of small businesses have no idea the value that you can provide beyond paying taxes or doing bookkeeping. That you know this because you're out in the field. You know that a lot of people just assume that accountants and bookkeepers have their very limited scopes. They don't understand the value that you can provide to help them to grow their business. So talking about the value of time savings, helping you to grow your business, do goals, pushing you toward your goals, giving you peace of mind that it's done right, those are all some great things to include in the beginning. I will jump in just quickly and then get into a poll and then some tips, but the profile page, this again, it's very similar to the search results, which I was just showing, but again, calling out your certifications, calling you're a certified expert in these products, which is really important to the small businesses that are visiting. Down below, when I scroll, you'll also see some of the new fields that if you haven't input that information yet, would really encourage for you to do so. And you can see this is how a small business would also be able to send you a message either from within QuickBooks Online or from the findaproadvisor.com directory. And with that, Michelle, did you want to jump into the next poll?
Yes, that would be great. Okay, thank you. All right, how often do you update your profile? Uh-oh, I have a typo there. I'm sorry. Agafiten. How often do you update your profile? Never, rarely, sometimes, agafiten, or all of the time? Obviously, I meant that to be often. How often do you update your profile? And I will admit, I need to go in and update my profile right now because I haven't done that lately. So I need to do that myself. But I think, what might be a good idea for us is to kind of put on our calendar to go in and update that profile, maybe quarterly or something like that, and see if we need to make any changes or anything. Meredith says, I'm about to go in and update my profile. Awesome, Meredith. Well, you might want to wait until we're done, and then you can go in to do that. All right. And yes, Christine points out the years in business field will force us to update at least annually. You're right, Christine. I get kind of embarrassed about that because it kind of implies how old I am. So when I'm presenting, I always say more than 20 years. I don't want to put the details in there. Of course, I started at the young age of 10, right?
It's how experienced you are, Michelle, not how old you are.
I know. I focus on the experience aspect. So Christy's laughing about my typo there. You're right. Somebody said they just made a couple of changes and they're getting ready to ask for reviews. That's great. Awesome. Somebody said, please repeat the marketing lines like we make QuickBooks sing, as I missed them. So you can do things like, we save you time so you can focus on growing your business or spending more time with your family. The we make QuickBooks sings. I love accounting so you don't have to. If you're looking for tax clients, maybe we help you get more returns on your return. So something where you're focusing on, like Michelle said, what's in it for them. Let's focus on the benefits for them. Because if you look at a lot of these profiles that are out there, I often see we provide this, that, and the other. We have X years of experience. We are certified, blah, blah, blah. And they're putting that in the About Me, but it's already in these other areas of your profile. When people are scrolling through and they see just those two sentences on the search results, you want it to speak to them. So what's in it for them? What are you going to do for them? Focus on those benefits, and you can put those details in other areas of your profile. Okay, let's go ahead and answer that poll question. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds. So last call On that poll question, if you need CPE, you need to answer this. Only about 86 have done that, 87%. So last call, if you need CPE, answer that. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'll share the results. 24% of you never. I guess it's time to do this. 42% rarely, and 27% sometimes. Okay. All right, thank you. Michelle, would you like to continue? We're seeing your screen again.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to jump into a few more tips. We just have a few to help you to get a great profile. And I'm going to start out, this is one that, this isn't different. This has nothing to do with the new and improved Find a ProAdvisor. This is just a lot of times we go into our search results, and actually there are a lot of ProAdvisors that don't even have a photo of any type. So definitely go in. This is pretty easy. We have two great examples of fantastic photos here with Michelle and Hector. Again, people want to work with people. They don't want to work with a machine. They want to work with you. So the tip is to use a professional-looking headshot. It doesn't have to be a studio photo. Just you looking approachable, and that really helps the small businesses or the customers to identify and really connect with you. So make a great first impression with a photo like this. And I mean, we've seen some different things. We recommend against using, a scenery shot, a whole body shot where it's just, a person from a distance, against using a logo. If you're not comfortable using a photo, a logo is better than nothing, but a nice, just simple photo like this. You could do a selfie, get a friend to take it on your phone. It doesn't have to be professional, but make sure that you have that photo in there. Next tip is that there are the 3 new sections in the profile. So if you're one of those who rarely updates your profile, right now if you don't add anything in here on your profile, it'll just say no information provided. So go in, take a minute or two and just go in. You can add your years in business. We've gotten the feedback about, can we just put the year that we started and then it automatically update every year. But I do like the tip that, well, now you have to go in at least once a year and go in. So for now, you can put in the number of years that you would like to put for in business. Michelle, that can be 20 plus. It can be whatever works best for you. But then also add your languages. If it's just English, just select English. If you have something else, and there's also an option for other. And probably the biggest one is adding your social sites. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, if you have a Twitter or Facebook that you would want to share professionally, if you have a YouTube channel with tutorials, or a blog where you talk about the things that you can provide, the clients really do. This is a really important relationship for potential clients. So they're willing to put a little bit more legwork to make sure that you're a good fit doing that research, and they really want to click around. And this just saves them what we'd seen before is a lot of times they would go to Google and search for you anyway. So make sure they find the right person instead of finding the wrong person on Google or stumbling across something that's, just taking more time than it should. Again, the biggest piece is probably to make sure that you have a great About Me intro. So an awesome About Me section talking about the value and that you provide for the clients, really what differentiates your practice, but really using that first, about 90 characters. Again, it's not a set number. It depends on how wide each character is. But talking about really what's unique, what you want for them to know at a glance so that it shows up in those search results. I pulled up Kathy's here, and one of the things she says is we free up your time so that you can focus on your business. Again, use throughout the About Me section, make sure you're using simple language, not accountant speak that clients can understand. And again, here's some questions if you're trying to think, well, what's my value proposition? The potential clients are going to have questions, so just try and answer them in advance. And the questions they're coming in with is, can this person solve my problem? Whether that's converting from desktop to online, or cleaning up the books that I haven't touched in so long, or that I need payroll, or I need a business advisor and I need forecasts done. Can this person solve my problem? So write about what your response would be to that. Is this a person that I can work with? Are they responsive? Do they love working with small businesses that are like me? And what do I get out of the relationship? Again, that's really the big question overall. And this is probably the kicker. The most important thing is that you get, if you don't have any reviews, get some. If you have some reviews, get more. Most clients won't even look at a profile until there's at least one review. There's not a hard and fast rule of how many you should have. We recommend getting at least 5. The thing about reviews is, one, it gets them to click on you when they see you in search results so that they'll actually go and learn more. As thinking about yourself as a customer, whether it's looking for a place to eat or a place to rent or somebody to hire, you want to make sure you'll go into those reviews that social proof that somebody else is writing about it and not just you. If they can see that there's other businesses like them getting services that they need, that's really important. So the voice of somebody else that isn't you it's really important. And again, it's easiest to ask. I know you have to ask, and it's not fun. I don't like asking for this type of stuff because it seems like a favor. But I try and remember, when people ask me and it's somebody that I've had a great experience with, I'm always more than willing to do so because I see it as a way of repaying the value that I've gotten. So remember all the value that you're providing to your customers. It's easiest to ask after you've had a positive interaction, similar to Michelle saying when they say, oh, I love that, or if they pretty much say verbatim what a review could be, just ask them to write it up, or if you have the end of a project. We've seen a lot of ProAdvisors as well, they put a link to their profile in their email signature, or they just have, if they have a follow-up survey at the end, they can include it there. Again, it's probably best if you meet in person or virtually to ask them live and then follow up, sending them a note, making it as easy as possible. Here you can see when you go to your profile from findaproadvisor.com, you'll have a link that you can just copy and paste. You can send it to them. They'll just instruct them to click in the review section. It says write a review, and then there's just a couple fields that they fill out, a free form area. And again, a lot of times they'll say, I don't know what to write. So you can provide them with some prompts. If they've already told you something, feel free to send that out to them. But again, what problem did you help me to solve? Or did you need me to solve? What type of business do you have? That's helpful content for future prospective clients. What was your favorite aspect of working with me? Those are some prompts just to help make it easier. And I believe that will just take us into the summary, and then we'll have a couple minutes for questions as well. Again, ProAdvisor program, we're so happy that you've been around with us for 20 years for some of you, or just a couple months for our new ProAdvisors, and we're happy to be turning 20 and celebrating our 200,000 ProAdvisors worldwide. Again, we have a brand new redesigned Find a ProAdvisor. We're really looking forward to driving you more and better leads. Now is the time to make sure you have an awesome profile. It shouldn't take you too long. The biggest thing, again, adding reviews, making sure you have that great About Me section, adding your social sites. If you're not certified, I know there's a few. Do those modules that Michelle showed you about. We have a virtual conference coming up this month. There's other webinars, etc. We try and make it easy. It doesn't take nearly as much time as you might think it does. So it's a great investment in just helping you to get the additional QuickBooks expertise as well. And the other thing, last thing, is if you have feedback, ideas, or questions, we'd love to hear it. We set up this, it's just a Google form. It's at bit.ly/QB directory. I receive this. I share it with Chris, with Ray, with the whole ProAdvisor team. We take your feedback very seriously. We discuss it every day in our stand-ups. So please, if you have anything else, you can include it there or request a response from one of us too. So that was it from me, Michelle.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. I had to remember to unmute myself. And I just put that link, that QB directory, in the chat window there, so you guys can copy that and click on that if you want to. And Michelle, we did have quite a few questions, and I'd like to ask you some of those. If it's possible, could you hang around for another 5 or 10 minutes? Yeah, definitely. After the top of the hour? Okay, great. All right. So for those of you that do have a hard stop, Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and take the presenter thing back. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the official part, and what we'll do is we'll finish up the official stuff, and then we will get to the poll question right before the top of the hour, and then those of you that can hang around for another 5 or 10 minutes, we will, oops, I just went through them too fast. What we'll do is then we'll stick around for a few more questions. So first of all, I want to thank Michelle for joining us today and covering some of this. I know a lot of people were excited about a lot of the tips that you shared. Sorry I jumped into some of them a little early, but a lot of people were excited about that, so thank you. As a reminder, here's some of the upcoming training events that you might be interested in. Let me go ahead and get back into presentation mode here. Always, there's live webinars every month. The live city tour will be coming up again starting in May, so pay attention for a city near you. And then Scaling New Heights, again, that's in June, and QuickBooks Connect is in November. I'd love to see you at some of those. We'd again like to thank our T-Sheets Platinum sponsor. T-Sheets is time tracking and scheduling. Again, the #1 rated app in the Intuit ecosystem, and they do give ProAdvisors a free account. Just go to tsheets.com if you want to check that out. So those of you that have to jump off, I'm going to go ahead and launch this last poll question for you. So here is the last poll question. Now remember, you also needed to be logged in for at least 50 minutes. So if you did log in late, we're going to go another 5 or 10 minutes after the top of the hour, so you may want to stick around for a little bit. So how likely are you now to consider updating your profile? Go ahead and answer that one for us. Those of you that do have to leave, thank you for joining me today. Remember, in 2 weeks from today, we're going to be talking about managing accounts receivable with AR Collect. I hope you'll be joining me for that one. AR Collect is pretty cool. If you've got a lot of clients that really have a lot of accounts payable that they need to manage and follow up for collections and things like that, it's a great app. So join us for that in a couple of weeks. So those of you that do have to jump off, thank you very much for joining us. And Michelle, if you are okay, I'd like to go ahead and start answering or asking you a few questions that came up. Are you ready for some?
I'm ready.
Okay, so one of the ones that I saw quite frequently was the change in the distance. It used to default, when I put in a zip code, if I'm searching for someone, I put in my zip code, it used to default to a 25-mile radius, and now it's defaulting to a 10-mile radius. A lot of people are concerned about that in the cities, where, 10 miles is nothing. They can have 50 miles in the greater metro area, and also in the rural areas. Some of these people in smaller towns may not have anyone within a 10-mile radius. So a lot of concern about that. What is Intuit doing to maybe give us back the 25-mile default, or to ask people to choose their default?
Yeah, so let me answer the last part of that, which was, I think, the rural areas where you might not have anybody. So we are working on a fix for that, so that that people in rural areas are getting some results, so that they don't get that 0 result, because that's definitely not an experience we want for the small businesses either. We want them to see some results. And also making it more clear how to expand the search radius when they're doing their search. In terms of let me start with some rationale for the 10-mile switch from 25, because this is feedback that we've been getting from our ProAdvisors. And everything that we're doing, again, for the redesign is to drive you more better matched leads. And as much as many of our accounting pros are willing to go to, either farther locations or going to a virtual cloud practice where location is irrelevant, the #1 criteria for small businesses when searching is still that they have somebody near them. And that's a perception that they have, that even if they don't have to meet in person, that they want to be able to conveniently meet in person. And this is actually more important in cities where we've done research with folks, of course, in San Francisco near us, but other big cities as well, that if you're in Manhattan, even 10 miles, it's a lot. So when we were doing our research and our testing, we found that when there was a smaller radius, it actually led to more connections. So the likelihood of them actually reaching out, because not everybody that comes to the directory that does a search actually reaches out to a ProAdvisor. And our goal is to be able to convert more of that traffic that's landing there to actually contacting you. Otherwise, it's not doing any of us any good. So that's the background behind it. And for now, it's going to be a 10-mile radius. We're definitely looking into it, and we're monitoring it. We have a ton of data, making sure that it is actually driving more connections overall. And this is something that we'll have to keep you updated on in terms of any change to that in the future. But long term, we are looking into how do we do the best match possible? And we have a team of, many engineers and designers working to how do we do the best search? Because right now it is still location-based. It's either zip code or city-based searching, and that's not necessarily the best way to do it. So we're really working on designing the best possible way to connect people, potentially including location, since it's important for the small businesses, but also ways that our location becomes less prominent. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Last call on that poll. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll because it's been open for a long time. Okay, so you should have had time to answer that. Michelle, another question that somebody had along the lines the distance was that, you know, they don't work with clients locally. They're doing everything virtually through remote access. So, you know, is there anything in the pipeline or in your discussions about what about those people who are a virtual office and serving clients everywhere?
Yeah, definitely, and especially as with Firm of the Future ideas of being able to work, our goal is to be able to connect the small business with the best possible advisor for their needs. So this is something, again, it's in the works. No timeline that I can share yet, but it's something that we're definitely trying to design the best possible experience. And if you have feedback or ideas on how to do so, please share them through our bit.ly link. But I guess the other thing is, in the meantime, you could use your About Me section to say, hey, I work virtually. It won't change how you show up in the search results, but people that want to have that option can at least see it. Because a lot of small businesses will go and they'll expand the distance until they find the person that's the right match for them.
Okay. And the other thing that a lot of people are asking about is they want the years certified. For example, some of these people have been certified all 20 years. Congratulations to them. I didn't get certified until 2003. But I've got, 14, 15 years in there. So that's another concern that some of us long-time experienced, not old, pro-advisors, you know, why can't we get, you know, under the certification, like let's say it says desktop certified for 15 years, or certified since 2003, or something like that to help kind of differentiate us from somebody who's newly certified.
Yeah, and not to make excuses, but I'll share the background for why that was changed, because I know this has been a pain point for several months since it was removed, is that we had a lot of testing. We're really focused on the customer here, and we had a lot of testing with small businesses that would go into the directory and they would see, I mean, how we had it displayed before was pretty daunting, that it was a giant list of every year, and unfortunately it didn't mean anything. Certification doesn't have the same meaning, and that's part of our goal, is to be able to educate about what certification is, but they would see it, they'd get overwhelmed by the information because it wasn't the information they were looking for, and then they would actually just leave the directory. And that's not our goal. Our goal is for them to come, to get the information they need, contact you. So the number of the certification years weren't always the best way to help express your experience and to demonstrate your experience. So we're continually working on how do we best demonstrate your experience. The first step for us was really clearly defining what the certifications are, saying that this is the expertise, the product expertise you have as a result of completing that certification, and the team is still working actively on making sure that we have the best representation of the expertise. Again, this was round 2 of updates. There's a lot more improvements to come down the road too.
Okay, Michelle, also thank you for that. Another question, and I'm not sure whether we can talk about this or not. When is the next advanced cert update coming out?
I don't know. I can't share an exact date, but stay tuned to your inboxes. We'll have some updates pretty soon.
Okay. Thank you for that. Then another question. I saw a lot of questions about how are the reviews handled? Like, what's the process, and how do pro-advisors find out why a review might have been rejected? There's a lot of questions about, you know, something was rejected and I don't know why. You know, how are they approved or rejected? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we work with a third-party vendor that actually handles the review process, and the goal is to make sure that they're legitimate. We don't have a way of verifying that they actually worked with you, but it is trying to make sure that it's actual customers writing the review. So I think one of the biggest challenges that we have is sometimes if you're doing a training or if you have something in your office, we've heard of pro-advisors that'll ask their clients to write a review right there from their office. One of the ways that reviews are filtered out is if all the reviews are coming from the same IP address, then it's a sign that it's not a legitimate review written by a customer. The assumption is that it's a pro-advisor writing and submitting the review. So make sure you're not doing that. The best thing that you can do, again, is to send your URL and a follow-up email or message to your client so that it's not rejected. I think that's one of the biggest concerns that we have, so that it's coming from a different IP address than where you're doing it right then. And so it is, again, it's a third party that the customer will go in and they're verifying to make sure that if there's anything that's slanderous, obviously, please give us a call on our care team. If there's anything that's just completely wrong, etc., then you can call to work on it. But that's basically the process.
Okay, and I can vouch for that. One time I had a review out there from somebody who I had no idea who it was. They weren't even a client. I mean, I didn't recognize the name or anything. You know, I don't know whether they clicked on the wrong person. You know, like, here's a good example. Today we got Michelle and Michelle on here. Maybe, you know, Michelle Berg worked with that client, and they went to my profile, Michelle Long, and gave me the review. So, you know, I did contact support, and they kind of looked into it or whatever, and they were able to help me get that review taken off of there. So, yeah, in situations, we need to contact support for some help on some of that stuff. Then another question we had, Michelle, is, okay, so a lot of people said, hey, I just updated my profile. How long does it take before that's going to be live, or how long does it take for those changes to actually take effect?
The changes are pretty fast. I'm not sure like the minutes or hours, but it is pretty quick. What does take, what has been a question is the profile views. You say, oh, well, I haven't gotten anything. I just did it. That only updates. The profile insights section only updates every 24 hours because we take all the data from that day. We update it overnight. So you won't see that immediately.
Okay. And then let's see, where was I just, sorry, there's so many questions here. I had one and I just did something and now it refreshed and I lost it. Okay, I think we already talked about that one. I'm looking for new questions. All right, hold on. I apologize. Some people said that they had lost some reviews. I would have to say you got to contact support to kind of find out about that.
Yeah, and sometimes it has to do with the same. Yeah, sometimes it has to do with that same IP issue. That if they all came from the same IP address, sometimes they'll get flagged for removal. But yeah, you can call our care team.
Okay, good. Yeah. And how does the client reviewing process work? If they look at the profile, is it considered viewed? Oh, so where it says like the number of times your profile was viewed, they're wondering how that works.
Yeah, so that's a unique visitor. So if I visited Michelle Long's profile 5 times, I would show up as 1. But then that is if they actually click to view your complete profile, not just if you showed up in the search results. So that's a combination of both if they went to findaproadvisor.com and clicked on your profile, or if they accessed it through QuickBooks Online. And some people don't even go through the whole flow. One of the great things about the profiles is that there's so much content in there. It's really great for search engine optimization. So if somebody's looking for, say, a QuickBooks expert in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Google search results, usually a couple of the top non-paid positions will be just profiles. So it'll just go straight to the individuals. So that would also count as a profile view.
Right. So Michelle, here's a few comments that have been coming in. Some people are still concerned about the number of years. Somebody says it sounds like our years of experience really don't count with Intuit. I'm sorry, but I strongly disagree. We understand there's too many icons in the past, but why can't you add 15 years next to the certification? And I think some of the concerns about this is, you know, when a small business owner is looking for someone, if they see somebody that's been certified for 15 or 20 years, presumably they know they're more experienced and they've been doing this a long time, and that their fees are going to be higher. So that might be what they're looking on. On the other hand, maybe it's a new business, pretty simple needs, and maybe they're looking for cheaper, and they might want to get someone who's newer. So again, the concern is, why can't we show the number of years certified and let the small business owner decide which is right for them?
Yeah, so no, thank you for that feedback. Again, it's an ongoing discussion, and just how do we best demonstrate the experience. But that's feedback that we've been getting consistently, so we've heard it. And I mean, we also know that there's a big difference between working with a 20-year, 15-year certified ProAdvisor versus somebody who just got certified, in terms of the level of expertise and information that you can provide, the quality of service you can provide. So we've definitely heard that. We understand that. And again, I can't promise anything right now, but it's continually under design to make the best experience for the prospective clients that visit.
Okay. Well, Michelle, we've already gone 10 minutes over, so I definitely appreciate you taking taking the time to join us today and taking the time to stay a little bit after. Also, thank you to Mindy, Vanessa, and Brianna for answering questions in the background. I know you were typing your little fingers off, so thank you very much for that. And to all the attendees, thank you for staying a little bit longer. I really appreciate all of you and hope to see you in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, you can talk on social media. That Facebook group is pretty active if you want to go out there and continue the discussion. That's just QB Power Hour on Facebook or the LinkedIn group. We can continue the discussion out there. So again, thank you everybody. That's it for today. See you next time. I hope you all have a great day. Bye everyone.